If you were blindfolded, put on a plane, and dropped into almost any newly developed neighborhood in North America today, you would have absolutely no idea where you were. You could be in Denver, you could be in Seattle, you could be in Atlanta. Because when you take off the blindfold, you'll see the exact same building. A blocky mid-rise apartment complex, a flat roof, large windows, a brightly lit ground floor coffee shop, and an exterior covered in a chaotic mix of gray, white, and rust-colored rectangular panels. We are living through the greatest standardization of architecture in human history. People love to blame architects for this. They say modern designers have lost their imagination or that we've abandoned beauty for cheap minimalism. But the architects designing these buildings aren't boring or lazy. They are simply operating inside a highly optimized, rigid global system. When you understand how this system actually works, you realize that these aren't really buildings at all. They are three-dimensional financial products. To understand why they look like this, you have to look at the invisible rulebook that dictates the physical shape of our cities. This specific type of building is known in the industry as a 5/1. It consists of up to 5 stories of wood frame construction sitting on top of a 1-story concrete podium. For decades, building wooden apartment blocks this high was illegal because of fire risks. But in the year 2000, the International Building Code was updated. Suddenly, developers could use cheap, chemically treated wood to build high-density housing, as long as it sat on a fireproof concrete base and included an automated sprinkler system. But why are they always shaped like massive, flat boxes? Because local zoning laws dictate strict height limits and minimum parking requirements. To make a profit, a developer must fill every single cubic inch of the invisible zoning envelope the city allows them to build in. Slanted roofs, deep courtyards, or elegant curves waste leasable space. So, the building naturally becomes a massive, monolithic cube. To hide how massive and boring the cube is, architects use a cheap trick called articulation, pasting different colored materials on the outside to trick your brain into thinking it's several smaller buildings. We all see right through it. But the real reason this aesthetic has taken over the world is money. Historically, buildings were commissioned by local patrons who actually lived in the city. Today, major urban development is funded by global institutional investors, private equity firms, and pension funds who need a safe place to park billions of dollars. Global finance hates risk. If an architect designs something unique, experimental, or highly specific to the local culture, it's deemed a financial liability. Through a brutal process called value engineering, accountants interrogate the design and strip away every architectural flourish. A custom brick facade is replaced with precast concrete. A grand entryway is shrunk to add more leasable floor space. Everything is optimized until only the cheapest, most inoffensive international default setting remains. The historic buildings we travel the world to see have survived for centuries because they were built to last, using durable, local materials. The buildings we are constructing today are disposable assets with a 40-year lifespan, perfectly timed to maximize a return on investment before the cheap glue and plastic siding inevitably degrades. Our cities are the greatest collective works of art humanity has ever created. They are supposed to be messy, distinct, and deeply rooted in the soil they stand on. We have the resources and the technology to build the most beautiful, resilient cities in human history. The only question is, who are we building them for? The people who live in them or the people who trade them?